Chief Meteorologist Jesse Gunkel. Thanks for joining us this evening on Facebook and on brproud.com. Well, this is for obviously to give you the very latest going into the evening hours. Just so you know that as you see big picture here that we do sit under a slight risk for severe weather. The first wave has already come and pretty much wrapped up for this evening. A few light showers are still in the area, just mainly in the form of some sprinkles. We've expired that flash flood warning, and as you see here, the threat now remains up towards the northwest. We're talking across portions of Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and even southern Mississippi. That's where they sit underneath that moderate risk to even enhanced risk. So again, the potential for more very strong thunderstorms this evening. But as we move along, that main line will drive down towards us. So you can see that first wave has pushed through with heavy rainfall. We saw a lot of locations in the 2 to even 3-inch range. That's why we were underneath that flash flood warning for portions of East Baton Rouge Parish and portions of Ascension and Assumption. We also had some reports of some very strong winds up to 60 miles per hour, some reports of some wind damage in a lot of areas, and maybe even a potential tornado just a little bit north of the Hammond area. Well, as you see now, we're getting a little bit of a break, and the good news is you should have a few hours to sleep, but make sure that alarm is set early in the morning. It looks like this next wave should be arriving most likely between the hours of 4 and about 8 or 9 in the morning. And I think right here in the capital area, it should be driving through around 6 to 7. As you see, again, those storms are quickly making their way southbound. Just ahead of that cold front, obviously, already a severe thunderstorm watch for portions of Texas, northwestern Louisiana, just around Bossier City and Shreveport, and then obviously another wave a little bit further north through Arkansas all the way up into the Tennessee Valley. So here's what we got going on locally. Those last remaining showers have moved on. We're starting to quiet things down. And again, this is just temporarily. The concern is that we did have a lot of heavy rainfall today. We do have a little bit of standing water out there, and if we do have the chance for another 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, we'll just be well aware that we could see some localized flash flooding going into the morning hours. Now, we're not calling for widespread flash flooding. The A-meet, the co-meet, and really everything in between should be fine. We needed a little bit of rainfall across the region, and we could definitely handle this round. A lot of what we saw today was just mainly runoff. So as you see here, we're quieting down. There should be a nice break, or at least a long enough lull that a lot of this water can recede and move back into our bayous, our streams, and move downstream before that next round arrives. Now watch your future cast. Around midnight, those storms will be well east of I-55. We're going to look for a little bit of cloud cover. Still a little warm and muggy this evening outside. We'll start out around 5 o'clock in the morning with an isolated thunderstorm, maybe down in Ascension Parish, maybe down in St. James. However, I think those storms should start to approach far northwestern portions of the viewing area, from Acadiana all the way up to Point Capee Parish into east and west Feliciana and southern Mississippi. By the time we get to about 7 a.m., it looks like that main line should be driving through. Notice the white, the pinks, and the purples. That indicates that strong to severe weather across the area. And you kind of notice in that main line, we get these little bows out here. And the concern is that we could see some potential rotation that could lead to a couple quick tornadoes out there. So stay very vigilant as we head into those early morning hours. And again, if you start to see that line bow, straight line winds, definitely a huge concern. Obviously, that causes widespread damage. We could see some gusts up to 60 to 70 miles per hour. Chance for some large hail. We're talking maybe up to 1 to 2 inches in diameter. Those are some very large hailstones, and if you haven't done it so this evening, park your car under the carport or make sure you park in the garage. Now, also, we have the threat for more heavy rainfall, but intense pockets. We're talking maybe 1 to 2 inches in a very short time span, because this should be a very narrow band of showers and thunderstorms across the area, which means they're going to quickly move in and they're going to quickly truck out of here by the time we get to about midday. Some lingering clouds, but by the time we get to early afternoon, we're clear. And then after that, it is an extremely quiet pattern for us. We may not have to worry about a drop of rain for maybe about a week to 10 days, which is just awesome. So here you go. The threat for severe weather this evening, this is mainly before 6 a.m. That's going to be for western portions of the viewing area under a slight risk, marginal risk a little bit further south. The time frame changes heading into those morning hours, and that's why we go to day 2. So you see here the entire viewing area really sits under a slight risk for severe weather that kind of shifts towards the east as that line progresses towards New Orleans and then towards the mouth of the Mississippi River. So really all modes of severe weather are possible in this type of scenario. I think damaging winds, however, are going to be our greatest threat, but we could also see a few isolated tornadoes in the mix, along with that chance for hail and heavy rainfall. So just have a game plan, be prepared out there, know what to do in case of an emergency, have a disaster supply kit. Always move to an interior room on the first floor, well away from windows and glass. Flying debris is the worst thing. It could fly through a window. And obviously, that's why you always want to make sure that you also cover your head. If you're in a bathroom, you can always use a blanket or a quilt or a pillow, maybe even a bike helmet. It doesn't matter. Any of those are good things to cover you up. Have multiple ways to receive warnings. I'm talking your cell phone. Put it on your nightstand. If this overall pattern shifts a little bit. Right now, models are agreeing that the window, really multiple models are agreeing and coming into consensus that the timing should be around 7 o'clock here in the capital, and for western portions of the viewing area around 5 a.m. And they should be exiting the area past Hammond and I-55 by the time we get to about 10 o'clock in the morning. So we are finally starting to see some agreement there, but have multiple ways to receive warnings. Again, if these storms start to move in early, if they shift up an hour, you'll definitely want to be awake when they do. So again, make sure your volume is up on your phone and it's close to you so you can get those warnings. Also, if you have a NOAA weather radio, this is the good time before heading to bed to change those batteries. And if you live in a mobile home, have another plan. And just remember also that you can stay connected with us. Download our app. That's at brproud.com. You can also follow me on social media at meteorologist Jesse Gunkel. Same thing with Twitter. It's at Jesse Gunkel out there. So we're going to continue to have, obviously, the very latest information. We're going to have complete team coverage heading into the early morning hours of tomorrow. Jasmine Lomax will be here along with Ashley Ruiz. So what we're going to do is, obviously, we got a break right now, but there is that potential threat early tomorrow morning. And if anything is warranted, we're going to definitely break in.